I guess I've been streaming for a minute, messing with the lighting, moving things around. Hope everybody's doing well today. Let's see. Let everybody know we're live. Had a question yesterday. So let's see. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm always learning something new, I do have to say. That is so interesting. All right. So, I actually do not really have a plan for today. Like right now, I have no light shining directly on me. I have it showing in very obscure. I have like this light over here. I have a light in front of me. Let's see. There's you. Then I have a light beside it. And then I have a light here shining down, and it just got rid of all of this weirdness over here. So yeah, this is very interesting to me, but it solves all the dilemmas. So hey Nico, how are you doing? So I hope everyone is doing well today. For us in the US, it is a holiday today, so I don't know if anybody's going to be up this early, but I needed to get live stream in because I got some stuff to do. Nico, is there anything you want to talk about today? Because I was really on the fence about what we wanted to talk about, and I couldn't make up my mind. Thought about building the times table, but that didn't seem interesting enough to me to think about if anybody wanted to do it. If there was any questions about why is my voice like this? I haven't been up for very long, and I haven't spoken to anybody in the house. So basically, when you're old and your voice sounds like this, it changes. So when I get going, and I haven't drank anything yet. So and I was talking a lot yesterday with my parents in town. So it'll warm up and it'll sound like normal. So sorry about that if it sounds so different. But yeah, I have my electrolyte drink. Maybe I can warm it up and it'll start to sound normal. Is there any problem you're working on right now, Nico, that you're having any issues with? Let me check, make sure. Okay, I've unmuted Discord, and let's see. And I'm also wondering how much is affected, because I still have some pretty good swollen leg regarding my. I'm wondering if my immune system is a little bit weird because of the yellow jacket stings, because my foot and ankle and lower leg is pretty swollen still. Because most of the time before I get on the stream, I've drank that and talked to everybody in my house, so my voice would be all warmed up. So let's see. We did. That's not what I wanted to drag over. Let me put this back because this is the right size. Right there. Let's resize everything. Boom. There we go. And I don't know if you saw the other spider. I do not like, the new monitors are acting weird. Everything dumps out into the main monitor, and then I have to rearrange everything. All right. Let me look here and see. All right, everything. Actually, this lighting isn't that bad. I'm a little peachy, but not as bad as I think. And there's not, if I look up at the camera, there's only a little reflection because the light's not. Okay, interesting. Let me go back to chat. All right. Let's look. I was going through all of, because I don't think I'm alert enough to do the shopping list today. That's probably going to be Wednesday's stream. I'm not going to be able to stream tomorrow because I got to go out of town for a trip to take care of some things. I don't think anybody wants to see, because I used iter tools to look at the chicken nugget, because that combination. So iter tools has a variety of very powerful functions in it, and you can do a lot of things with it. Let's see. Oh, I've not looked into choice. The choice documentation. I don't think you guys will be too interested in me looking and reading through documentation while you're here. Let's go. No, that's the calculator. Ooh, we could make a random password generator. You want to do that today, Nico? You want to make a random password generator? Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's edit this. Random password generator. Spell that right? Okay, yeah. Oh, and I'm resaving. There we go. All right, resaved the name of the stream. All right, my voice should be slowly starting to get back to normal. There we go. 1 2 1 2 1 2. I used to have to do that. I'd go 1 2 3 1 2 3. I would do a little voice warm up exercise before. Okay. Yeah, when I'm just old. Nico, I'm just old. All right. So let's see. So now let's save this. Random password generator. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So, of course, if we're going to have anything random in here, we need to import random. Import random. Now, also, so we know what, because we need to have the program come up with characters to use, because it's going to be generating. So it's going to need access to, it's not what I wanted. There we go. It's also going to need to have access to characters. So, Nico, have you seen the strings module before? So let's go ahead and take a peek at what the string module does. It's actually very interesting and very powerful. All right, so string, what does it do? Let's go ahead and start looking at it. So dir on string. I think I've maybe talked about this once. So we can look as key letters, as key lowercase, as key uppercase, digits. So let's start unpacking this and seeing which is better. Let's see, string dot as key letters. What does this do? All right. So now I should have done lower and uppercase individually, but if you look really close, look really, really close. So this is all the letters in lowercase, all the letters in uppercase. So if there's both of them, that should be 52 characters, correct? So if we do len, and we can double check this, everything that, if you haven't noticed, I end up doing something and then double checking to make sure I understand how it's working, what it is. And then you can get into, let's see, punctuation. Let's see, string dot punctuation. Aha, or special characters. So now I have access to all 52 characters for the letters, and then now let's see digits. String dot digits. So have you ever heard, I'm sure you've heard the term alphanumeric, correct? Well, alpha, numeric, and then special characters. So if you really look at this, so the reason why alphanumeric, and then when they start to add in special characters, all this does is it increases the probability of combinations. Because right now, if you just do letters, it's 52. So if you have a password length of 6 characters, a minimum of 6 characters, it's 52 to the power of 6. This is the number of combinations because it's 52 times 52 times 52. Now, start adding in, increasing this. So what is the length of punctuation? And we're going to go over this of why. So this is 32. So now we have 52 plus 32 plus 10. So now you have 94 characters. So if you have a password of a minimum of 6 characters length, now it's 94 to the power of 6. See how this has become astronomically much larger? This is why when you can add more characters in a spot, in one location, the combination of characters, this becomes a much stronger password. And then if you have a minimum of, what? If you say it has to be a minimum of 10, that's why it would take decades and years to brute force hack in with passwords that utilize alphanumeric and special characters and their length, and it's a password length of 10. All right, so now we need to go ahead, and how in the world would we start doing this? It's simple and easy. It has aspects of both, but it's just like everything else that I discuss and attempt to explain, that human brain is good, and it needs to understand how to do it, and you have to understand how to do it well and in the most simplest form to then be able to convert it to Python brain. So, all right, so what do we want to do? We want to have a program generate a password with a combination of, let's just do alphanumeric right now. So we need to bring in ASCII letters and ASCII digits and make it one string. Does that make sense? Because we want this to be in a pool that we're going to do this. So source is going to be string, and it's ASCII letters plus. Now we could really shake this thing up and really have this be, well, let's get this done. String digits. All right, let's run this. and source. Don't know if that's a, but all right. So now, okay, look at this. So here we are. So now this should be 52 plus 10. This should be 62. So len of source, 62. So now we have a total collection of 62 characters to pick from. Let's not put this in a function yet, but let's go ahead and just begin to go through. So I have random, then I have then we know we have random choice. And random choice, let's double check if it's going to work on a string. Random help dot random dot choice. All right, let's look at this. It's from a sequence, random element from a non-empty sequence. The sequence is the source. So let's do random. Random dot choice, and put in source. Perfect. It's going to work on a string just fine because a string is a sequence. It's iterable. So there we go. Non-empty sequence. So perfect. So now we need to come up with a empty string, correct? Because we're gonna go through, we're gonna increment, and we need to grab out and go from there. So I need to look at something, how I designed this last time. What did I do? Oh, now I remember what I did. So I actually set this out to, yeah, we can do this. So I actually designed the password generator that I used is how long, the length, and if it was going to be strong, weak, or what were my choices? Weak, strong, or very strong, and we just did weak, strong, or very. All right, so we'll go through that in a minute. We had somebody on Discord yesterday asking a question. I didn't quite want to. It looked like a homework problem. I didn't quite want to answer the problem, but we may end up talking about it because it is an interesting problem. All right. Let's see, length. Length equals, we'll just do 6. We started out with 6 because we need to iterate and go through this the amount of times, digits, length. Oh, I did that way. Oh, that's why I did it. Okay. We'll do that in a minute. Upper, lower digit. I had to break these out. Okay, that was an interesting thing. We'll solve that in a minute. Alphanumeric, letters, digits. Yep, let's do this. We're going to change this up. Letters before we get started. And then get rid of this. Digit equals string dot digit. Digits, is that right? Yep. And then we're going to do, I called this punked, string dot string dot punctuation. Perfect. All right, so here we are. And now for I in range length. Now we need this up here. Now, so we're going to, if the password is just If this is just like simple or weak, we'll call a simple password. So it's just going to utilize, it's going to iterate through the letters. So we're going to do password, and we're going to increment random choice from letters. Letter. Let's change this. Letters, be consistent, because it's called letters. Digits, password. All right. And then come down here and print password. All right, everybody following me so far? So here is a random password. And if we run it again, boom, 6-letter random password, just like that. Now what happens if we wanted to come in here and we want to take this and create this into a function where we would take in an example of something like this. Def password, and we want to take in length, and if how did I categorize this? I broke this out and I had 3. Oh, then I shuffled it again. Oh, that's too weird. Very strong. What did I do? So I wanted to include numbers. If it was strong, the num length. And then 1 to 4. All right, we're gonna stick to how I did it. Don't quite remember what I did. So if it was gonna include numbers, so we're gonna default this to false, and then strength. Is that strength? TRGATH, and then default this to weak. All right, so if you've never written a function that, we'll move this over. Oh yeah, I can't use, what do we want to call this? Oh yeah, PWD for password. We bring this in here, put this there, and we need to change this to PWD for password. There we are. Everything should be good now. Perfect. So let's kind of go over what I did. So if you've not created a function that takes in optional arguments, so you can have, when you create a header line, the way that I used to like to teach this is you have to have 4 things. You have to have the def keyword, have to have the name of the function, have to have your parentheses, and have to have your colon. So those are the 4 things you have to have. Why can't I just highlight that? There you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the optional stuff is the stuff in the middle, the arguments. So you may, if you're super new, you may have seen where you take in an argument like so. Now, these are called optional arguments. And what that means is you don't have to utilize them. They are already preset. And what happens is they are preset to a value in the function itself. So if you want to use them, you can, but they're already going to be set to be a certain way. So if you're going to utilize them differently, you have to call them and rename them. All right. So right now, I have 3 arguments. 2 of them are defaulted to num is set to false and strength is set to weak. But you have to pass in a length, if that makes sense. So, all right. So let's figure out what we're going to do. So we need to handle these arguments right here. So the way that I went about this, let's see. Let's move all this in here. And now that we have, see, I like to have this now on top of each other, so we don't need this. Let's clean this up some. Bingo. All right. So I'm going to take in length. I'm going to create my letters now. Simple or weak. So what we're doing right now, if you're just joining us, we're working through a random password generator. And what we're doing is we're utilizing our string module and our random. So we're going to use random to actually have the program go through and pick the characters randomly. And right now we're using the string, so we're not actually having to type out all of the options. If you've never seen the string module, it's very powerful. It's very handy. So the string.ascii letters, it's all of the letters that you would expect, and it's capital and lowercase combined. There is actually a string ASCII lower and ASCII lowercase and ASCII uppercase, so you can actually break them out and control this even more. And then you have digits, and then punctuation here is special characters. So if we were to combine all of these, we looked earlier and we would have 96 characters. So right now, with a weak password, we would just use 1 out of 52. But as we go down the page, what we're going to do, or down the program, we're going to make this more complicated, and we're going to include digits and special characters. So as we make choices of, and we need to pass in a doc string. There we go. Length of password, num if you want numbers. We're just going to copy this because I already wrote this. And right there. So, all right. So here's our doc string. Length of password, num if you want a number, and strength, weak, strong, or very. So as the person is going through, they can see this. So now, if strength is equal to weak, then we're gonna do this. Now, so, and let's say we need to make a decision of how long and what categorizes a strong password, what categorizes a weak password. So let me try to remember what I did the last time I did this. So we're going to have a elif strength equals strong. Is that strong? Yeah, that's strong. Pass, and then elif strength equals vary. No, I don't think. Nope, not capitalized. And this right here, and then vary. And what is this saying? Invalid syntax. Yep. Boom. Invalid syntax. Boom. All right. So now we have our base of what we're going to end up doing right here. All right. And what did I end up doing with the length? No, not the length, the number. Oh yeah, I think I just made this up so it would be more complicated, so we have to have more decisions. So right now, we're handling this right here because these are our big buckets. I don't really need that anymore. But weak, strong, very, and as it goes through, boom, 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 boom. All right, so then now, if num, so if we think about this, right now I have num defaulted as false. So num is going to be a boolean, so true or false. So I don't have a condition here because it's actually just going to be, if you're going to use num, if you want it to have numbers, you're going to change this to true as you pass in inside your arguments inside your password header. So then we're going to do something like this. Whoops. Boom. Now, let's see. So that's what I did. Okay, hang on. So let me collect my thoughts on what I did. So basically, yeah. Okay. Now I remember why I added this. Because, so let's say, because I wanted to control, now I remember why I added this. So if we want to control and take in numbers, so I kind of set this parameter that if it was going to be something like this, because if we just dump in letters and digits to this, what's going to happen is if we don't set the parameters of then breaking this out, and oops, not that. If we don't think about this as a group of 2 and a group of 4, I wouldn't have control over the randomness of how we're going to do this. So I need to control this over here. So if I have a password of a length of 6, and I want, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I wanted a password the length of 6, but I wanted 2 of them to be characters, so like this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 5. And I close this out. If I just came over here and concatenated these two and then say randomly pick 6 characters, I may not necessarily and confidently be able to get 2 digits and 4 characters. But if I put this here and I say I now have, and this is going to be, so I'll show you in just a second. Else. And boom. So, all right. Let me show you what I'm doing. So this worked for this. And as you can see, what I did is I added a header and moved it over every time. So this is going to have 0. So if I call, let's see, how I'm going to get to this path right here is I'm going to call this, and I'm going to have a length of 6, and I'm not going to change anything else, and I'll still get this right here. And I know it's going to print right here because check this out, print here. So watch. Password 6. And I'm going to run here because I set this first and I controlled this. So num is defaulted here. So it does it. So it goes here, does not go here because this is not true. This is false. So it dumps right into here. So this is how I can control this. And I built this one on top of the other, and I just moved my way through. I hope that makes sense. If that doesn't, I controlled the layers and I controlled the path. All right. So now if it does want numbers, if you do want numbers and if you want 2, then I need to then put some code here that will basically split this out. So if I wanted two of these 6, we're just using 6 as an example right now. So if I wanted two, let's do this right here so we can see the difference. So we can go back if we need to recognize the code changes. So now I'm going to, num equals true. So now I want some numbers in here. So how in the world can I control this? So now I'm here. But there's a difference. Let's say we always want the numbers. Well, it doesn't matter. We could mix these in. We could mix it up. But what we're going to do is, what happens if I want the numbers at the end? So watch this. If true, I'm going to take, so if you want numbers, so watch this. So I can decrement this. So if I wanted 4 letters and 2 numbers, so I wanted 4 letters, 2 numbers, or if I wanted a character of a length of 8, and I wanted 2 numbers. So all of these are very similar to the number triangles. So if I wanted 2 characters, length of 8, so I'd use 2 digits and 6 characters. So watch this right here. So I would come up here and change my length. I would decrement by 2. Then oh, Nico, I thought I had my, you just sent me something. Thought I had my volume up. Let's see. What's that going to be used for? Is that just an exception that you're working on? Because I mean, that's exactly how you would go about doing it. All right. Okay, let me go. I know I saw it pop up, but I thought I had my volume up. Let me check. Volume on my speakers. They're at 100. All right. So right now, I need to shorten this from 8 to 6. So I still do this. And then for I in range 2, then still going to increment, and I'm going to use random dot choice. This is why I broke this out. So now just digits. Now everybody follow what I just did. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're not doing that yet. So now let's come here, run this. So we have this code segment. Bingo. So now I have a password with a length of 6. Let's go back and make this 8, like I did in the example. And F9. There we go. Did I just move that over by a smidgen? I did. There we are. So now I have characters. I have a password length of 8, and 2 of them, the last 2, are digits. Does everybody see how I did that? And I'm beginning to get the dots. All right. Did it again. I'm extra clicky today, apparently. All right, let's get this up here so you can see it. All right, so now we need to handle strong and very strong, or just very. Everybody following so far? Now, so I remember when I did this, I was like, that's really cool. So, all right, so we have strength, and basically we're just going to kind of go through here and mimic all of this. Let's see. Nope, I need that sun apparently. And I made, oh boy. Yep, the sun's starting to come through. I may need to throw a towel up over there or something. Actually, I'm going to try this. See if that does it. Oops, sorry everybody. How bad is that? Okay, that's really, I don't know if that's better or worse. Because this side, oh, that's so interesting. I have this now, I have the light almost pointing directly at the keyboard. Okay, now I'm going to press the live button. All right. Well, it's not ghosts, it's just the lighting. And yeah. So I have this one light basically pointing down at the keyboard, and that solves. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's see where we left off. Okay, we need to get strong. So now we need to increase the length. Let's see, what did I do? What did I say for strong? F, letters. Oh, okay, that's what I did. That's the difference between letters and lowercase. So we're going to actually change this a little bit. So string, let's look at dir on string again. If you're just joining us, we're going to go back a little bit and look at how we're going to make this a little bit stronger. So we're going to look at, we're going to actually split up letters, and we're going to do lower and upper. That's how we're going to control lower, or weak and strong. So string dot as key lower. What'd I spell wrong? A lowercase, that's it. Oh, that's right. It's just here. Okay. So we're going to change this a little bit. We're going to call this lower. Lowercase. Then upper. This is how I did it. Uppercase. Bingo. So now I can break these out, where then we do lower, yeah, lower, bingo, and lower. So now strong, what we're going to do, and if you've not come in and clicked the like button, go ahead and do that for me. I'd very much appreciate it. All right. And let's see, so now we're coming through, we're going to do lower digits, bingo. All right. And okay. All right, so strong is going to be same deal as this. If you want numbers, included, so probably what we're going to do, we're going to make very strong. we're just going to build it. Let me make sure. Am I clear out of the image? I am. All right. So now we're working on our strong scenario. So what we need to do is we're going to change this from upper and lower, and we're going to make this one group. So right now, we have lower. We just ran this. Oh, it's inside the function. So that's why. Let's put these outside. Copy. All right. I think I may hear the dogs moving around, so I may need to go get them in a minute. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna adjust this, and we're gonna combine these and have lower and upper put together. So right then, boom, see, this is how we're going to handle this over here. So if it's strong, we're going to go letters equals lower plus upper. And then we're going to change this right here. Everybody following me? Hang on one second. You want me to feed them? I have to do it. You sure? Yeah. Okay. You're sure? Yeah. I'll do it. All right, guys. I'll be right back. I got it. You go back down. guys. All right. Sorry about that. Couldn't corral them very well today. Okay, now that's turning bright. All right. Anybody still here? All right. Thank you, Nico. I appreciate it. All right, so now what we're going to do, so we have our week path right here. So we have handled the length. The length is just automatically already in here. If they want any digits, we're going to let them choose 2 digits. It's going to default to 2, and it's going to be at the end. So we've handled this. Now, what we did for the strong password is we've combined upper and lower into letters. Put this here. So now I'm going to change this into strength. Yeah. Strength equals strong. Let's see, what is this? Bingo. So now I run this. That's not what I wanted to do. It didn't hit F9. F9. So now I have the password. So now, when we selected 8 characters, wanted digits at the end of it, and I wanted this to be strong. So now it has upper and lowercase. So now what we're going to do for the strength being very strong, we're going to combine upper, lower, and punctuation. So let's see what we're going to do. We're going to do lower, upper, and punctuation. I can't remember if this is going to be in memory or not. Okay, well, it is. So now look, and my len of this is 84 characters. So I have 80. So this is why this becomes stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. So now we're going to kind of repeat this. I'm going to come here, copy, paste. But instead of now letters only going to have lower and upper, it's also going to have the punctuation. See how I've built this one thing after another, where it's basically the exact same, but it's not. And I just make it more complicated, more complicated, more complicated. And I started out with a little teeny tiny for loop. So this is why you write these things in steps and in pieces. And you never sit down and you try to do this all at one time, because if you try to do this all at one time, you're never going to do it right, correct, and it's going to drive you absolutely insane trying to debug this. But if you build an overarching structure, so I want to show to you that this was the first piece that I wrote. Let me make sure you can get this around my head. Okay. Bingo. Okay, good. There. This was the first piece, and it was lower. And I tweaked it a little bit, and I made it a little bit better. And I controlled it. As you can see, there is the original. And then I go, wait a minute, we were going to do a numbers false and a strength weak. So this then defaulted into weak, and it got moved over from the edge, from a regular for loop into a condition statement. All right. Then I said, now let's do this if. So I moved this down into the else, because, and then it got copied and put here with this. And then after I got done setting weak, I started strong, tweaked this a little bit, but I just basically copied all of this, moved it here, changed here, and I kept moving down. So that's what I want to draw your attention to, incremental development. Incremental development is your friend. Don't run away from it. Don't hide it. You want to embrace it and do these things one step at a time. So, all right. Any questions there at all? Because I know this can be, well, actually, we need to test to make sure this is going to be right. So now let's do vary. Come up here, hit F9. Bingo. There we go. So now look at that password. that's pretty good. Now, you may need to tweak this a little bit. And some of these characters may be not allowed, so you can go and tweak this yourself. But I just wanted to make you aware of these right here, that you don't have to sit and actually type any of these. They're available that in the string module that Python has already created for you. So I've utilized, I don't know what the white spaces is. Let's look at white spaces. I don't think, if I have ever looked at this, I do not remember what it is. White space, not spaces, white space. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. That is a blank. That's a tab. That's a new line. I do not. You good? You okay? Yeah. Oh, I thought I heard a woo or something. This is a new line. I do not know what that is. Now I want to kind of look. Python R. What does it do in a carriage return? Never heard of a carriage return. I don't know why, but removes. No, that's a stack flow. No, not. I'll look at that later. But all right. And maybe these look like hex digits. But cap words. Now I want to look at cap words. Cap words. Help string dot cap words. Split the argument into words using split. Capitalize each word using capital. Really interesting. Oh, this is okay. Capitalize words. Hang on, I want to try something. String dot cap words. Okay, that's kind of like title, I think, in string. Hello, how are you? Glad you're here. Glad everybody's joining us today. Let's see. I want to try something. We used the Raven yesterday, so that's what came to mind. But dir on X. Swap cap. Yeah, we've done that. Title. Am I thinking title? Yeah, title. X dot title. Yeah, okay. So just FYI, if you want to bring in something and you just want to capitalize and you don't, well, why would you? I don't know. That seems a little bit redundant to me. But all right, so we found there's, because if you had a string, you could automatically just run title on it instead of having to import string and then cap words. I guess if it's a list, would that work on a list? Well, now I have to see this. Sorry. X equals X dot split X. Then it was string dot cap words dot and pass in X. Yeah, okay, it has to be the sequence. So that actually seems worse to me. All right. Anybody need to go over anything that it's on the top of their mind and they were thinking about asking anyway, but they didn't know if I would do it? I didn't really have much today because I knew I needed to do. We kind of had an impromptu trip that I'm doing tomorrow, so I didn't want to go 2 days without doing a live stream. So that was the reason why doing the live stream today, but impromptu, didn't have a plan. Was going through Github and was looking at stuff. Thought about doing times tables, but I could not think of a elegant way to describe times tables, so I didn't think anybody'd watch. And actually, one thing that been very interesting to me is how the last video that I published, the one about the number triangle, that is now, I just went and looked last night, out of the, that is very cool. You're from Nepal. No. Nepla? Did I spell that? Did I read that right? Hang on. That is very cool. That is awesome. That is very, very cool. Well, is there anything you want to talk about or anything you want me to help you with? Because as I was just saying right before you joined the stream, didn't really have anything super planned to talk about. Make an AI in Python. Well, that's like trying to run. I'm sure you have an issue smaller than that, because no, I guess I don't have any. Make an AI in Python without any module. Well, that would take probably decades to do, because the modules have been written by hundreds of other individuals. So I mean, have you ever looked at a module or a package that somebody has already written for you, and how much code and how much Python has gone into it and how much optimization has gotten into it? How about we talk about something a lot smaller than just creating an AI? Is there a problem that somebody's stuck on? Because I think I'm about to, I mean, maybe with a few modules. Hang on. I hate this emoji button that they have. I don't think there's anything behind the but. A few modules, but only built-ins. Again, I wouldn't even know where to begin, because, I mean, do you even understand the basic building blocks of AI? First, because the AI is only good in the training models and the training data that it has, but then the step before that is the machine learning, which I've been playing around with, which I am not very good. Decision matrix, classifiers, boundary points. I mean, I've just tried to play around with the flower example data points data sets, and all the tutorials be like, first install this module and pay $20,000 for this API to use the module. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, the data that is you're trying to get into a race car, a Formula One race car, and drive it, and without even having a driver's license. So there's machine learning packages that first need to go into, and then what do you want the AI to do? What decisions do you want it to make? All right. You're just learning Python. So have you seen any of my other videos? So I know they seem very mundane and not very complicated. You want a chatbot? Well, Nikos, just you're going to need a data set to how to train. So you're looking at a large language model, words, LLMs. It needs to understand the training. First, you're gonna have to get your. There's so many things you have to do first, but how about I answer? How about I help nothing first? All right. You just want to get good at solving these little puzzles. And so when I started learning Python 11, 12 years ago, something like that, 11, I think, because I'm 47, I think I started learning at 36. I just started to solve nothing. Have you seen my number triangle? I think that was the first video that I did a live stream. Let's see. But it's the equivalent of this. And the first example is this. Oops. There. Then the next example I did is I had the person, what I wanted you to do. Oops. Did I just kill the stream? Okay, I don't think so. Can I record and did I just do that and find out a way for me to be able to? Sorry. All right. So nothing. This is for you. So I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2. 1. So this looks like this isn't very challenging, but it actually is. It's not that simple. And the reason why I make a big deal about these is because these are the actual real problems when you go and you're starting to build the things that you're going to run into. And you're going to get all these types of errors right here. You need to be able to handle this type of problem right here. You're going to run into a bugging problem. You're going to have all of these issues like this, and you need to know how to solve them. So like you're going to have a problem where you're going to be doing something and you're going to get this error. And it's going to tell you that you cannot type error. It's unsupported operand type for int and a string. So this is what you would need to know. You always need to know what is your problem, what are you trying to solve, and how can you fix it. But if I don't know what my problem is, I don't know how to fix it. So understanding this, when you have these, so let's go back. So I would do something like this. Now this becomes a completely legal statement because I had a variable that was coming to me. I thought it was an integer, but it was really a digit. a number, a digit, that an integer that is represented as a string. So then I need to convert it to a integer and then do my arithmetic. I know that sounds weird, but you want to solve excuse me, you want to solve as many problems and be able to be versed in doing things like this. And if you can build these things, then you can do there's Leak Code, there's tons of websites where you're able to log in and just solve puzzles. You want to get good at solving puzzles. So when you come and you get asked, hey, can you build me a random password generator? Well, boom. And if you're new here, you haven't heard me talk about Python brain and SQL and Python brain and human brain. Is how do you make this decision? And like, how did I know? So I wanted the number triangle to be away from this. So what did I do to decide to make it like this? Or a great one is build a quick function to take if a number is an even number, or the other way, if a number is an odd number. Those quick functions begin to help you quite a bit. And since you're a young person, being able to practice and get and build these skills at an early age, and it just becomes, because when I was learning, I would walk around and I'd see a problem and I'm like, how would I program this? How would I write this in Python? How would I solve this? And I call it buckets. So like right here, we're taking in our information, and our big buckets right here, our big divisors, is how I broke this out, is what type of strength do you want? You're going to utilize length all the time. Maybe use the num some of the times, but this is our big separator. Is the password going to be weak? Is the password going to be strong? Or is it going to be very strong? So I made my big bucket that here first. Then I made it. All right. Then our next little bucket is it going to have digits in it? Is it going to have numbers in it? Okay. Then yes and no. And then inside that, I had another yes and no. But I did this incrementally. I did it one step at a time. So I would just try to be on the lookout for little puzzles all the time and see how you go about and solve them. But that's a very good question. All right. And Nico, for your chat bot, I would spend more time on the large language model modules and just go from there. But all right, let's see. We've been on for an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. But yeah, my last video I published, and it had to do with the number triangles. Out of the almost 1,100 videos, 1,100 videos, it is already in like the top 150 videos viewed, and that's just so very interesting to me. But all right, if nobody has anything else, we'll probably wrap this up today, and then I'll be back Wednesday. So if you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and hit the like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. But before we drop, we've had a couple people just drop in. Is there anything else we want to talk about before I wrap up for the day? Because I was just thinking about it. I may actually solve this problem that came through on Discord here. It's a little bit of a math problem. It was It's somebody's homework, but I don't want them to be too discouraged. But I'm not a big fan of doing homework because if I do the homework for you, you don't get anything out of it. So let's see. But before I do this or before I drop, I guess we've almost been an hour and 18 minutes. Anybody want to talk about anything right now before I start this other one? Nico, nothing. In either of you want to chat about anything? Anything that you've tried to solve that you just can't get your head around? All right. So what came through on Discord yesterday was, I don't know if you saw it in Jacked asked a question and put the example in. Can I do an image? Let me try something. Shrink down. Bring this over. No, bring this over. So, all right. There we go. Can you all see this at all? All right. So it's a question where, and we have the formula down here. So, like I said, not a big fan of doing homework, but for individuals who are frustrated and can't see this, I don't want to get discouraged. Don't want them to be discouraged. So there's a formula here, and what you have to do is you have to just basically look at this a different way. So basically the design is if you get a gift, so it breaks out into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buckets. If the gifts are between here, this is the minimum. You take your gift minus the minimum, then whatever the remainder is, you multiply it here. That's what this step is here. So here we go. So for a gift of 6,000 euros, you pay taxes of 180 euros. And the way that formula is devised is, so we're going to look right here in this bucket right here. So it's the 6,000 minus the minimum plus this times 8%. So let's go through that. I'll move this back over here. And you can go and look at Discord and see for yourself while it's not here. So it would be, so the taxes were 180. So this is how it's devised. It is 100 plus the 6,000, the gift, minus the minimum, then times 0.08. And that's how you get to the 180. So what my argument was of how to go about solving this is you just convert this into a formula. Let's see. Make sure I see this. Well, looks like everybody's dropped. I don't think I'm going to hang around and do this math problem if nobody's here. So, all right, everyone. We are at about an hour and 22. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for today. Don't know what we're going to talk about Wednesday. We may do the shopping list because I can get my act together and get everything around and go from there. But if we were to look at this, this would be the minimum. We would pass these along. That'd be the bracket, and that'd be the gift. So let's do this. So I was trying to, let's go Let's put it up here. Copy, paste. And whenever you're starting to do a math problem like this, you just want to understand, to make sure you understand what the variables are. So this was the gift. Then this was the minimum. And this was the tax percent. So don't ever overcomplicate this. And then tax minimum. Tax min. Let's move this back over here. Bingo. So if you look at this and you look at it that way, there we go. That I think is all that I'm going to do. Because if I do anything more than this, I'm going to end up doing the homework for. Let's bring this up here. So we had 6,000 euros. That was the gift. So what you do is you would assign, instead of taking in and getting stuck on this, let's back this up just a touch. There we go. And bingo. You just take a math problem and you turn it back into, all right, now Nico, I heard that one. I move this back over here. Did you send that private or did you put that in? Hey Nico. I thought you had something. Okay. I think we'll stop there for the day unless there's anything pressing, but looks like everybody's just kind of chilling, hanging out today, and we're not doing anything super crazy or important. So we'll just wrap this up, and I will see you all on Wednesday. I hope everybody has a great rest of the day and a great tomorrow, and I will talk to you all on Wednesday. Thank you, everyone.